Hi, I'm Luke with Bigger Than the Three of Us. I'm going to show you a quick little project today. We're going to hide these cables to make hiding the power lines easier, the high voltage stuff. We found this online. You can find something similar, but this will be a great tutorial for running cables, doing any low voltage work if you've got anything similar to that. Alright, so the setup we've got here is we've got power and, well, networking and cable down low. We'd like to get those up high behind the TV. What we're going to do is we're going to install this box down low. This box is going to allow us to get our power from this outlet over to this. And then it's also going to allow us to run like our HDMI or whatever cables we need to up through the wall to the TV. First step here is to make sure I know where my studs are or ones that are in the area where it's going to matter, and then to decide where I want to put the boxes. I really got a couple options. I've got a stud here, which means the next is way over here somewhere. So I could either go next to this one or maybe above it. I don't want to go too low because my dresser behind me here is pretty high as far as where it sits. But really anywhere in this range for me is pretty safe. So just make sure you map out where you're going to want yours to go ahead of time. Come up with a little bit of a plan before you start cutting holes in the wall. That said, if any of this seems uncomfortable to you or you have any questions, please ask an electrician. In my case, I knew there are no high voltage or power lines that are in between these studs here because I've been in here before in the past. That said, it's always safest just to shut the power off, flip the breaker wherever you're working, make sure you don't have a live wire behind you. To start this out, the easiest thing is to kind of pick a corner, just stab it in gently with your hand. Be careful, the saw is pretty vicious if you catch your skin on it. And then you can use a hammer or just your palm. You're just going to use little back and forth motions here. You're not trying to push down hard, you're just small back and forths. So the next thing I did once I had the two holes is I dropped in the cable for the top box. So this guy here has a long cable on it. I dropped it in on the top hole and fed it all the way down out here in the bottom. So according to my instructions, I'm supposed to go ahead and feed whatever other cables I need through first before I plug in any power. So I'm going to do that right now. All I really need is one HDMI cable. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. If you have more or you think you might need more in the near future, so audio cables or multiple video cables, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and do it now. Next, I'm going to go ahead and try to feed it through the box on the top and the bottom. So now that I've got that, I'm going to get the extra cable through the wall and then put the box into the wall. So in my case, I've got a lot more cable than I need for power, but that's all right. And we'll do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and hook the two power ends together. So the one that I pulled through the wall from the top and then the one on the box on the bottom. Assuming I can figure out how it works. So if your media box isn't sitting right here by the outlet, this definitely isn't enough cable at the bottom. You'll want to have enough cable to run from right here in the wall when you're pulled tight to wherever you want to go. So up here on a media center, you'd need plenty enough cable to make it up there. Alright, so I've kind of got things tested out a little bit and I'm pretty happy. So if you've never done a drywall plate before, you'll screw it for a little bit and it'll start to feel like it's in all the way. keep turning. It'll get more difficult to turn it, but it'll keep going. These have a little finger on the back side that will clamp onto the drywall, and then you keep screwing them in until they're nice and tight. Before I call it quits and start putting my dresser and all the more difficult stuff in place, I'm going to go ahead and plug the power in on the TV, and I'm going to plug the power in down low here and test everything out and make sure all my connections are good. So the power on the TV is turned on and seems to be all good. Alright, so that's pretty much it on this project. Everything's installed, working, up and running, and ready to be cleaned up and put back. So it's a pretty straightforward project. It's probably 20 minutes all in. Thanks for following along. See ya.